Alright, warm up number 1. You have to do multiplication before you do addition. So you have to do 4 times 5 is 20, and then add the 3 and get 23. Number 2. This one is 4 plus 30, which is 34. Number 3. This one is 2 plus 8 minus 3. That's 10 minus 3, which is 7. Number 4. This one is 3 times 7, which is 21. Number 5. This one is 18 minus 8, which is 10. Pick a number from 1 to 5 and put it on a small piece of paper, put your last name on it, and then drop it off up here on the table. The winning number is 2. Today's objective is to multiply decimals and round. Here's example number 1. We want to multiply 5.62 times 1.4. Now to multiply these two together, you got to start with this and then multiply it by 2, 6, and 5, going this way. So when I start here, 4 times 2, I'll get 8. So we just went from there to there. Now we have to do 4 times 6, which is 24. 4 times 6 is 24, but what do I write beside the 8? 4, yes. The 4 from the 24 goes there, but what happens to the 2 from the 24?
Above the 5.
Above the 5, right. So now I have to do 4 times 5, which is 20, but what do I do with that 2? Add it, yes. So 4 times 5 is 20, plus 2 is 22. Now I have to go down to the next line. What's the first number I write on the next line? Is what?
2.
Not a 2. 0, he's right. You have to put a 0 there on the end. And now we have to multiply 1 by each of these numbers. So that should give me a 2, 6, and a 5, because it's not going to change anything. Now add up all these numbers, top to bottom. 8, 6, 8, and 7. Look at the decimal places. How many numbers do I have to the right of the decimal point up here? How many are to the right of the decimal point here? 2 and 1. How many numbers altogether are to the right of a decimal point? 3. So go down here and start right there and move over 1, 2, and then 3. That's where the decimal point goes. So your answer is 7.68. But what if I told you to round this to the second decimal place, which is the hundredths? That's the second decimal place. I would look at the number to the right of it. If it's 5 or higher, then you're going to bump this one up 1. Should we bump it up 1? Yep. So 7.87. And you get rid of this and everything after it. 7.87 rounded to the hundredth place is the answer. Practice number 1. Multiply 8.62 by 2.3. On the practice problem, when you multiply this out, you should have a 6, 8, and then 2 and 5 out on the left. And then on the bottom you put a 0 and you end up with a 4, 2, and 1, 7. So 6, 2, 8, 9, 1. And you have 3 numbers to the right. So it should be 19.826. Bonus number 1.
So you're gonna be 17.
On this problem, this is 3 squared. That means 3 times itself, which is 9. And then 2 times 3 is 6. So you should come up with a 15. Bonus number 2. On bonus number 2, this 4 to the second power means 4 times itself, which is 16. 4 times 4. And then 6 times 3 is 18. So if you add those both together, you should get 34. On the practice problem, you'll end up with 6, 8, 5, and 1. Then on the bottom you have a 0, and then 5, 6, 9, and 3. Add these up to get 6, 3, 2, 1, and 4. 41.236 should be the answer. The first thing you have to do in this is the 4 plus 1. So you should get 5. And then you have to multiply 2 times 5 first to get 10. And then you have to go in order from left to right. So you're going to have 3 plus 10 is 13, minus 2 is 11. Should have 11. Bonus number 2. You have to do 8 minus 5 first. So leave everything else the same and make that a 3. 8 minus 5 is 3. You have to do multiplication next. 6 times 3 is 18. And leave everything else the same. 5 plus 18 is 23. Minus 3 is 20. You have to do what's in parentheses first. That's 1 plus 2, so that would be a 3. And leave everything else the same. And then do multiplication before anything else, and that's what this means, is multiplication. 6 times 3 is 18. And now when you have nothing but addition and subtraction, you have to go in order from left to right. 4 plus 18 is 22. Then minus 1 is 21. On the practice problem, you should have a 7, a 5, and then a 1, 5 after that. 0 on the bottom, then you'll have a 2, 9, and a 2, 2. So 7, 7, 10, 8, 2, and you have 3 numbers to the right. So it should be 28.007. Here's a bonus problem. Well, on the top one, we'll do that one first. That is a 2 times 4 is 8, plus 6 is 14, plus 4 is 18. And on the bottom, we have 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9, times 2 is 18, plus 3 is 21, minus 3 is 18. Here's another practice. 3.42 times 8.5. On the practice, you should have a 0, 1, and then 7, 1 out there. Drop a 0, and then you'll have 6, 3, and a 2, 7 out there. Add them up, 0, 7, 0, 9, 2. 3 numbers to the right of the decimal point. So 29.070. Here is practice 3. You need to multiply 4.68 times 5.7. On the practice, 7 times 8 is 56, so we'll put the 6 there and drop a 5 up there. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 5 is 47. Carry the 4 up here. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 4 is 32. Drop a 0 there, and then do 5 times 8 is 40. Carry the 4 to here, above the 6. And 5 times 6 is 30, plus 4 is 34. We're going to carry a 3 over to here. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3 is 23. So it should be 6, 7, 6, 6, and then a 2. You have 3 numbers to the right of a decimal point. So 26.676. On this bonus problem, it is 3 minus 1 is 2. This one is 3 minus 1, which is 2. Squared is 4. Times 6 is 24. And then you're going to add 5 to that, and then 4, which would give you 33. On the bonus, you have to do what's in parentheses first. And 1 plus 3 is 4. Now you must square the 4. That has to come next. And if I square 4, I end up with 16. 4 times itself is 16. And then multiply 2 by the 16 to get 32. 5 plus 32 is 37. Minus 10 is 27. You have to go in here first and do 10 minus 6. When you do that, it is 4. Now, you have the square symbol on that 4. So 4 squared is what? Not 8. 16, yes. And then you have to do multiplication, which is 3 times 16. That would be 48. And 4 plus 48 is 52. Plus 3 is 55. Here's practice number 4. 4.62 times 7.3. Everybody that turned this one in had it right. The answer is 15. Here's the second bonus. on the bonus number 2, you have 3 plus 3. That'll be 6. And then everything else will stay the same. Now 6 squared is 36. 6 times itself. 6 times 6. Everything else stays the same. 3 times 36 is 108. And then when you add straight across, you should come up with 114. On bonus number 3, 2 plus 2 is 4. And then we have to keep everything else the same. 4 squared is 16. Keep everything else the same. 2 times 16 is 32. And then add left to right to get 36.